Relieve, Respond, Revive. WSFL TV presents The Rebound, South Florida.
It would be great to get a phone call from there.
COVID-19 testing backlog. How a delay in getting coronavirus tests back could be hurting the efforts to stop the spread.
People are going to be barraged with debt collectors calling and trying to get them to pay.
The struggle to make ends meet is very real for hundreds of thousands of South Floridians. The 3 things you can do to help get your family through this tough time. Getaway lockout. A group shows up to their Florida vacation rental unable to even open the door. What you need to know if you can't get a vacation refund due to COVID-19. The Rebound South Florida starts right now.
We've been covering the state's contact tracing efforts for months, but tonight I uncover how delays in testing results are now causing a whole new set of challenges in tracing this virus from person to person. As the number of positive COVID cases continues to put the Sunshine State in the national spotlight, Florida is now pouring more money into its contact tracing program. A $6.2 million contract with a Virginia company to add hundreds of tracers to the task has been extended an additional year, and the cost has quadrupled to more than $27 million, according to the state's online database. A Department of Health spokesperson explains tracers hired by the company to prevent the spread of COVID-19 may not actually be in Florida. Florida residents are preferred, as is familiarity with Florida's geography, he stated to us in an email.
It makes sense to have somebody in your area doing contact tracing.
Arlene Price is an OR nurse by trade who recently took an online course to become a tracer, but has yet to find a job doing it.
We're ready to go to work. Put us to work.
A state spokesperson says just over 2,000 tracers are now working to mitigate the virus's spread in Florida, but increased caseload and slow results remain a challenge.
It would be great to get a phone call from there.
13 days ago, Dwayne Bennett got a COVID test after learning he might have been exposed at work.
Started getting a little dry cough and I was starting to feel a little feverish.
It took 10 days to learn he was positive. On Monday, the governor called the delays in test results a statewide problem.
The turnaround time is just not what we would want it to be.
In general, the goal is always as soon as possible.
Dr. Jacqueline Evans is an associate professor at Florida International University. She says lag times in results make successful contact tracing more difficult.
The window of opportunity to reach a contact before they become infectious and go out and infect others, that window gets smaller and smaller.
She's now part of a new study aimed at teaching tracers more cognitive interviewing skills to better jog a person's memory.
I feel back to myself.
It's only been 3 days since Dwayne Bennett learned through an online patient portal that he's COVID positive.
Because I didn't get a phone call. I still haven't gotten a phone call.
A contact tracer also has yet to call him, but if they do, he questions how much help he'll be able to offer, since his exposure and his test are now weeks old.
If I'm 2-3 weeks out from my initial symptoms and everything, and then I'm getting a phone call 3 weeks later, I might have forgotten some important information,
FIU researchers hope to have the results of their study in the fall. Meantime, the governor has said more rapid testing will be available at testing sites in Orange County and South Florida for symptomatic patients. Katie Legrone, WSFL TV.
At the beginning of the pandemic, deadlines for debt were extended, moratoriums were put in place. But almost all of those are now about to expire, and millions of Americans could soon be overwhelmed by a wave of debt. However, experts say there are a few things that people can do to manage. Here are those tips.
The next few weeks mark the beginning of serious financial uncertainty for millions of people. A slew of debt, from income tax payments to several months of rent, are going to be due at the same time.
It is going to be a perfect storm of financial difficulty for many, many people.
Andrea Bob Stark, an attorney at the National Consumer Law Center, is trying to help people prepare and has 3 steps anyone can take. Step 1, sit down and create a list of top priority bills and debt to pay.
People are going to be barraged with debt collectors calling and trying to get them to pay on a medical debt or a credit card debt. But those those debts are less important. Pay debts that, if you didn't pay them, would cause immediate harm to your family. So those are like, your rent and a car payment, especially if you need your car to go to work. If you have a judgment against you, try and make a payment plan to pay that, because a creditor could issue a garnishment against your wages.
Step 2 would be to contact your lenders to make a payment plan on those priority debts.
We're seeing data come in that there are people that are delinquent but don't have a forbearance agreement, when they could very easily be in a forbearance agreement. And I know wait times on the phone are horrible right now, but you have to be persistent.
Step 3, find a way to stick to your list.
It may sound obvious, but if you have it on paper and you have created a budget, stick that to the refrigerator or wherever. If your son or daughter says, oh, well, I want this or that. No, look at the fridge. These are our priority spending items. Sorry.
Because every situation may not be as easy as 1, 2, 3, the NCLC has now made its in-depth guide to surviving debt free at nclc.org. It has letters to send to debt collectors and hundreds of pages of help to get you through this tough time. I'm Alicia Nieves reporting.
Our vision with this is just to be able to make a difference in a real impactful way, a way that we can actually see the results and see the change that we're helping for people in our community.
Up next, a local law firm gives back, how they're helping Black-owned hospitality startups rebound and move in the right direction. Thousands of people depend on their services to survive. We're recognizing those who give their time to help make sure Meals on Wheels South Florida can keep giving.
Every week on the Rebound South Florida, we tell you about Meals on Wheels, an organization that provides aid to the elderly across the nation and in South Florida. They provide an array of services. Without their volunteers, the amount of work that's put into the organization every single day and week wouldn't be possible.
On here today? Well, today I am going to be delivering meals to 5 different people. I do this every Tuesday.
That smile on Elizabeth Beatro's face is what homebound seniors love to see.
They're very appreciative. In fact, one of my clients every week wants to give me something after I deliver food to them. It could be a bottle of water, it could be Gatorade, but they're so appreciative that they want to say thank you by giving me something.
The people are very friendly and nice and helpful. They actually speak to you on your level, so not like, hey, just drop off a box and take off running. They're here to help you.
According to Mark Adler, Executive Director of Meals on Wheels South Florida, the nonprofit has seen a vast increase in the number of seniors in need of meals because of the pandemic. Before COVID-19, they were providing for 10,000 homebound seniors. Now they're serving over 13,000.
Older adults who weren't homebound before now are scared to go out, so there's a huge increase in the number of older adults that are homebound who want to get home delivered meals.
The meal delivery service is something those in need are counting on now more than ever. And with the help of new volunteers, the organization has been able to provide for those thousands of seniors in need.
Volunteers are the heart and soul of everything we do. Without them, we couldn't do even a tenth of what we do. And they're the ones that our seniors rely on, and they see them every week. They do a little safety check. They check in with them, even from a distance. So they really rely on that to reduce their isolation and let them know that people care about them.
I feel good that I can help out right now because I'm the kind of person that wants to do and help. So this gives me a chance to help people that that need it.
Mark says with the need of meal assistance increasing every single day, they need volunteers. If you'd like to volunteer or donate to Meals on Wheels South Florida, you can find a link at the top of our website, WSFLTV.com. The coronavirus has left millions unemployed. We know how important it is for South Floridians to get back to work. Right now, the nationwide security services company G4S is hiring over 400 employees in South Florida.
We're most known for our physical presence in terms of offering security officers. However, we have camera capability, we do risk assessments for companies, so we're involved in safety and security in a number of different facets.
Winnie says they have armed and unarmed security positions available. If you don't have security experience, the company offers training to officers they hire. To apply and for more information, head to careers.g4s.com.
Here's what's next on the Rebound South Florida. We're tracking a growing number of identity theft cases, the way criminals are targeting out-of-work Floridians. We want to make sure you have everything you need to protect yourself. Next. Getting through this with stories to help get back on track as we rebound in South Florida.
As the number of COVID-19 cases continues to rise across the state, unfortunately, so do the unemployment numbers. Over 129,000 Floridians filed their first unemployment claim last week, compared to almost 67,000 the week prior. South Florida lawmakers are now calling on the Senate to pass a bill that would continue those $600 a week federal payouts, which are expected to end this month.
I'm Kylie McGivern. With a record number of Floridians out of work, the FBI says it is seeing a spike in identity theft at the state's unemployment office and is now sending out a new warning.
It alarms me, it alarms us here with the FBI.
Special Agent Mark Jackson says criminals are capitalizing on the fears and desperation of out-of-work Floridians in this pandemic.
That produces an environment where criminals can thrive in.
Gathering personal information through phone calls, text messages, letters, websites, and emails.
Social media platforms, those are a lot of places where criminals will get your information.
And then using your personal information to file bogus unemployment claims. Over in Palm Beach County, when Vanessa Dickey applied for unemployment for the first time in March, she discovered she was a victim of identity theft that had actually occurred more than 6 years prior.
I've never collected unemployment, so I immediately told the lady on the phone, this is incorrect. I've never received any of this.
The criminals had used her social security number, date of birth, and employment history to collect more than $1,000 in payments. The FBI couldn't say how many have fallen victim to this crime, but say ID theft is up across the board. How much of this are you seeing so people get a better idea?
Well, last year, Florida alone had $43 million worth of identity theft fraud. And right now, through July of this year, we're up to close to 34 million already.
We asked the state's unemployment office how many reports of fraud it has received since March, and we are still waiting to hear back. Online now, we have tips on how you can protect yourself from identity theft. I'm Kylie McGivern, WSFL TV.
Continuing to help South Florida rebound during these trying times, a local law firm is giving back to the community by offering free legal help for Black-owned hospitality startups.
Even now, potentially going back into shutting down again, that's fearful for my customers, because if they're not making money and being able to welcome guests, they don't have a need for my technology. And so when they are affected, I'm affected.
The majority of the businesses that have been affected by the pandemic are in the hospitality industry, a huge concern for new business owners like Samela Watson. She started a new company called Sebilla, an app that's designed to provide full-service travel experiences for guests.
My business has been heavily affected because, as we all know, short-term rentals were forced to close along with hotels, and those are my customers.
This is kind of a historic thing that we're seeing here, and we want to do something concrete that we can actually try and make a difference.
The financial struggle brought about from the coronavirus, stacked on top of the tragic killing of George Floyd by a Minneapolis officer, inspired Access Law Group to offer pro bono legal services to startup hospitality Black business owners.
We're going to provide organizational documents. People are sometimes unaware of how to even incorporate. So how to get an EIN number, how to do your filings with the state to get that done. We're going to do trademark and patent work if there's some type of trademark or name that needs to be protected. We're going to do lease negotiations if we're talking about a restaurant that needs an actual physical space.
An attorney for the firm, Michelle White, says the main point is to help their clients get started and lead them into the right direction.
Our vision with this is just to be able to make a difference in a real impactful way, a way that we can actually see the results and see the change that we're helping for people in our community.
I think it is important to see how small companies not only recover and bounce back, but how the community in itself is helping one another. I think that that's that just sets the bar that much higher moving forward once the pandemic is behind us. It's amazing, and it makes me want to be able to see how I can give back to others and open doors for others the same way that they're doing for me.
Michelle said they didn't set standard qualifications. The program is open to Black entrepreneurs who are just starting or are looking to start a new business in the hospitality industry. If you think you qualify, you can find a link on how to apply on our website, WSFLTV.com. Just click the Rebound.
Getaway Lockout. Next on the Rebound South Florida, a group shows up to their Florida vacation rental unable to even open the door. What you need to know if you've had to cancel a trip due to the pandemic.
I'm Jackie Calloway. A girls' staycation just before the pandemic shut down wound up being a bust after they were locked out of their rental. After trying for months to get their money back, these women turned to us for help.
We had decided to book a surprise birthday present for my best friend.
Sarah Colbert booked a condo on Clearwater Beach for a staycation for her and her two best friends. They were supposed to check in the week of March 12th, before the pandemic shut down the state.
I have done probably about 5 to 6 different vacations with VRBO and had great success.
Sarah showed us this confirmation for the condo and her nearly $1,500 payment. But just 2 days before check-in,
the property was gone. You couldn't even find it on VRBO.
Sarah says the listing vanished from the VRBO website. She also told us the property owner did not answer her calls, so she notified VRBO.
They explained to me they have to give the homeowner 72 hours to respond.
2 days later, Sarah and her friends attempted to check in.
No instructions, the door was locked, so we were really frustrated. We just turned around and came back home.
Sarah says she called and messaged VRBO for 3 months. HomeAway, which belongs to the same company, responded to her in this June email, saying her refund request was denied in compliance with the internal procedures and policies.
I'm done. I want my money back.
I emailed VRBO's corporate offices.
As soon as she contacted them, lo and behold, within 24 hours, I had an email promising a refund.
The company did not respond to our multiple emails seeking comment, but VRBO did finally refund Sarah the nearly $1,500 she paid.
But I'm very thankful that that's behind me and I have it back.
This cancellation was not related to COVID-19, but if you're dealing with a reservation issue that is related to the pandemic, you should know that VRBO is encouraging its property owners to at least give back a partial refund. I'm Jackie Calloway, WSFL News.
Anyone who's been to South Florida can agree there's no place like it. From the busy and congested cities like Miami and Fort Lauderdale to the quiet and spacious suburbs throughout, there are so many reasons why South Floridians love to call this place home. Tonight, we leave you with Javier Rodriguez.
So I grew up in Kendall, Florida, and I have a lot of fond memories growing up in Kendall. I think one of the main memories for me was when I was younger going to the local park, Continental Park, running around, throwing the football with my dad, playing basketball on the hoops there. Even now, too, when I'm older, playing Turkey Bowl at Continental Park and doing that as a long-standing tradition with my friends for the past 5 or 7 years. Many folks in Miami go to Brickell and Miami Beach to go eat and eat at the best restaurants. But for me, Kendall has some of the best kept secrets in Miami. I think it's the barbecue. Shorty's Barbecue, I think, is one of the best places for barbecue in Miami. I think secondly, too, it's the places outside of Kendall, right? The local places like Big Cheese, some of the best pizza in my opinion. So what I really love about Kendall overall is the sense of community. I highly consider Kendall as a spot, just from my positive experience being there.